Have you ever had that game that you see at a shop over and over that looked interesting, but you didn't buy it for a very long time?
My name is Susan Ashworth. I live alone in this old two-bedroom flat. I rarely go outside. Some would say it's a lonely life, and I guess that's true, but I don't like people's company. Not lately, anyway.
Last year for me, that game was The Cat Lady, and I wanted to kick myself for how long I'd waited. It's an independent adventure game developed by Harvester Games and released in December 2012. It's a very mature type of game, containing all sorts of violence, nudity, and general horrific imagery. Our game begins with Susan deciding to take her own life, but instead of truly dying, she ends up in a strange world that may or may not be purgatory. Here she encounters an old woman that calls herself the Queen of Maggots, and then makes her completely immortal and gives her the task of ridding the world of 5 psychopaths she refers to as the Parasites. Susan then returns to the world of the living to wake up in a hospital bed and is soon forced to carry out the tasks assigned to her. The story takes time to really pick up, especially during the first chapter, but after Susan leaves the hospital, things start to get into a pace of their own. The beginning is strange in the sense that it sort of has an intro and chapter 1 fade into each other, if that makes any sense. But after you deal with the first parasite, the game will ease itself into a much more standard adventure experience. And when I say standard adventure experience, I mean standard psychological horror complete mindfuck experience. After she gets to her dingy little flat, she meets this woman named Mitzi, who is a little too willing to be her roommate and maybe harboring secrets of her own. After getting to know Mitzi and the things she's trying to accomplish, Susan attempts to help her while dealing with the parasites that end up targeting them both on the way. As you can probably already see from the video here, this game is very bare bones in its actual gameplay. You use the arrow keys to enter and interact and escape to show the options menu. That's it. You don't even need a mouse to play this game. Narrator-driven games with minimalist gameplay are hardly new, especially these days. There are many people out there who are sick of this sort of thing and others who can't get enough of it. Performance-wise, however, this game really needs more polish. I get really strange frame rate drops despite this being basically a side-scrolling Telltale game with no real QTEs to speak of. In particular, there was this one screen with a lot of fog rendered that left me in the single digits. Thankfully, it was only one small part of the game. What isn't a small part of the game is the voice acting, and sadly even this can get sloppy in some areas.
It's the red teardrop of pure happiness. They bring it, I drink it down, and my pain goes away. Without it, I just feel so angry. It's like I'm going crazy. It's funny, but I just get so fucking angry sometimes. I'm dying. I think we're all dying, I heard. She said I'd go to hell for it, but I didn't do anything. I didn't know. Does he know?
Who?
Him!
While you sometimes get performances like that, you can also get some really standout scenes from the actors in this game, particularly from Susan's voice actor herself.
Those days, it's enough of a struggle to crawl out of bed. I don't see the point in anything. I just want to disappear. And I hate everyone else because they know how to be happy. Everywhere I turn, there are people filled with hope and will to live. Or people so pitiful, they make me ashamed to be alive. I don't want them. There's nobody there for me. I am alone. I just want to vanish.
Speaking of talent, there's one particular voice in this game that myself and possibly some other players ended up noticing. David Firth is a semi-famous Flash artist and voice actor that is the main mind behind the Salad Fingers series.
Hello.
Which is a kind of series you have to see to believe. He's made a lot of great videos over the years, most of which can be found right here on YouTube. He voices 2 of the parasites in the game, a pest control man and his wife, and he does an amazing job at it. It was a pleasant surprise to see him in this random indie game I happened to pick up.
I don't even believe my reflection.
Your eyes are just scribbles, Jonathan. You don't need them. You're a liar, Jonathan.
Jonathan.
As if you did. I swear to God.
Me? I'd never do that. You know me, honey. You're the only girl for me. This lady here will join us for dinner. That's all.
For what? Take the goddamn mask off when you talk to me.
Susan tends to move sluggishly along the entire time, which may be reasonable given her character, but isn't too reasonable with the amount of backtracking you do in this game. It's very much like a point-and-click adventure in the sense that you have these little puzzles you must solve during the game's many dream sequences. There isn't much more to say about this game in the gameplay department. You either love it or you hate it, really. This game clearly takes a lot of numbers from the Silent Hill franchise. No chapter goes without a trippy nightmare area, characters that range from shady to outright terrifying, and finding out exactly the lengths Susan is willing to take to find peace within herself. Also, like the Silent Hill franchise, this game has a very good soundtrack that complements the whole feel of the game nicely. There's featured music from 3 different super obscure UK bands and over 70 minutes of tracks produced solely for the game by its composer.
Goodbye, otherworld.
Like many games before it, this game deals with mature themes such as depression, suicide, murder, illness, and even cancer. But unlike a lot of those games, it also provides moments of humor and hope in between without getting too full of itself, at least some of the time. It's a game that keeps its depressing atmosphere consistent the entire way through and has always had something interesting around the corner for me. I picked it up on sale, but at the time of this video, it's currently on Steam with its original price of $10. If you've already played all the little indies you have on your profile, I suggest checking this game out. It's rough around the edges, and it's got plenty of, performance issues and such, but it's also got plenty there to satisfy anyone with even a passing interest in this sort of thing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. He would have killed me, like the others. The animal. You gave him what he deserved. Who are you?
They call me the cat lady. Now get out of here. Call the police. I'm going home. I've only got one thing to say now. Thanks for nothing. Goodbye.
Well, this kind of thing he does is called trolling on the internet. It's usually a form of extreme bullying and psychological cruelty. Those who are clever enough say, don't feed the troll, don't talk to them. It only makes it worse if you show any interest in them at all. And I of Adam is no exception. He craves attention. He's a hungry troll who wants to devour as many hearts as he can get a hold of. I emailed him and told him I was a massive fan who loves his work. He wouldn't believe me at first. But trolls are always hungry, and I was prepared to serve him a meal fit for a king.